shit, dude. Just give people like 3 more seconds to come back, dude.
Now, I don't know. How do we?
It's been a week since Boba Fett dropped all of its eggs, and I'm happy to talk about it because I feel like
all right. So what
the
if
people
we
that are
do
going to
this?
get spoiled aren't going to watch it, and I would have watched it already.
Okay, so what if we do this?
Yeah, hit me.
From this point in time, guys, I'll give you a spoiler warning of like say 30 seconds.
Yeah,
right.
We're gonna spoil the whole fucking thing.
What we'll do is that in the comments we'll say where it picks back up. If you do not, you can skip it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna try and learn how to do that in the comments and breaking the thing up.
That's very. I can. That's easy as fuck. I can do that. But on Spotify. So or anywhere that you listen to it on podcast wise. If you guys don't want to hear the spoilers and you haven't watched Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian, you got 30 seconds grace, and then from that we'll let you know. But yes, be aware that we are going to talk freely about the shit that is coming up, Star Wars shit that has already happened. Ooh. Matt is happy about this. You can see him. He's just like, oh, bro, let's go. I'm keen for this. We haven't been able to have a good Star Wars sesh.
Very good. My balls off.
I think it's about enough time.
Oh, bro. All right, get out of here.
Yes,
if you haven't,
guys,
you
last chance.
Yeah, get out. Scram.
Now we're starting to talk about it.
Luke Skywalker.
Fucking Skywalker.
Oh, dude. The ultimatum. The chainmail, the Mando, the fucking ship. I know what's the better Anakin ship? Like, for fuck's sake,
the
dude.
Sword.
Right, so if you haven't seen Book of Boba Fett, it's a really, really good show. Go and watch it.
Yes. Now,
I am so surprised. It does. I was very surprised at this.
Starts slow. Now, the reason it starts slow, and this is the thing that now I've had fucking arguments on Twitter about this, right?
Oh yeah.
And then I just put it in the dirt. I put it in the dirt. Now I put a tweet out the other day. Book of Boba Fett is a setup. It's a setup for what is coming in the next like 6 years. I would say probably 5 years. 5 years of Star Wars, right?
Yep.
And I don't know if you've ever read a book, guys, but a book has chapters. That is basically the statement that I said on Twitter.
Yes.
Right? And not every single fucking chapter has something to do with the main character. Now, people are upset because there wasn't enough Boba Fett. Well, sorry, but what were the first 4 or 5 episodes that everyone was saying, oh, this is boring, and it's only good ever since Mandalorian showed up? Like, what? You guys can't be happy. Yeah. But anyway, that's enough of my rant.
We've digressed.
I am super happy. Let's just talk about actually Boba Fett for a second. I'm very happy with the development of his character. I think the idea of like we always had a theory. There was always a theory that the Sarlacc pit we knew like how did this man survive, right? Because he does show up in an animated series, and we're like, what?
Hi.
How did you? Anyway,
why did you?
So, and they nailed that.
It was such a good explanation, man.
I loved the Sarlacc pit. I loved the idea that it put Tusken Raiders in a different light.
Didn't it?
I actually, interestingly enough, I just watched episode 1, Phantom Menace again.
Nice.
And in the pod racing scene and the Tusken Raiders are shooting.
Yeah.
Right. I now get that there are tribes that make money that way. I didn't know that. I always thought they were just like these rats, basically. Like they were just
scavenging, pillaging.
Yeah. They were just, that's all they did. Right. And they are portrayed that way quite a bit, obviously, because we always see it from a Jedi's perspective. We always see it from a Tatooine's perspective. We never see it from a Tusken Raiders perspective.
Yep.
And that whole sequence of like communication and just loyalty in a clan was unreal to see. And then like
unity.
Yeah, and they didn't talk. Like they didn't understand, like they sort of understood each other, but they didn't really understand each other. And then it was just like that barrier breaking down, and he realized that he was able to communicate with them, and they were intelligent things.
And he realized that they were just looking out for their kids, trying to provide for their families and live their lives as well as anybody else.
It's honestly, there's so many parallels that you can draw between it, but it's interesting to me that it's like this technology, like the speeder part, like this hilarious part of sequences of them trying to learn to jump between speeders.
Yes.
And even ride them, and he puts it in reverse. I'm so glad they put something like in that, right? But that whole transition of him teaching, and then him is like, well, I'll teach you how to use technology if you teach me how to fight. Like like primitive fight, primal, and it was just like they nailed it, man. I that whole sequence, right, in the sand, the flashbacks, it was just perfect. And then what was actually happening when they put it into like where he was, that you see that you understand why his character was like that now. You understand why he wasn't vengeful driven and and he's just he just didn't want to be the same as his dad. That was it. Like, you always thought that. You always thought that he just wants to be. You always thought he wanted to be like his dad, but then he realized that no, he needed to find his own. And I think that line he says to the Wookiee, Harstein, yeah, and he says like don't like work for people that are just gonna like basically leave you to die. It never works that way. Like, and it's just like that was such a honestly, that transition there was just like he accepted it. He knew what he was older. He was obviously a lot angrier at the time. He matured, and he just said like it's not worth it. Work for people that are gonna give you shit back. Like,
respect.
You don't need to work like a bounty hunter anymore. It's not good business. That's right. He says it's not good business. It'll get yourself killed. It's such a good line, man.
I enjoyed particularly that whole coming together of him with the Tusken Raiders and sort of pissing off the Spice Runners, and
man,
that was cool. And this is the thing. This is the thing with all the Star Wars content that's coming out at the moment. It's telling a story. It's building the world out. It's not all about fucking Luke Skywalker and lightsabers and stuff. Although they managed to tie that in, which was fucking sick.
Perfect.
So sick.
We'll get there. Get there in a second, but
it wasn't overdone or anything like that. It was just on point.
It was honestly like a meanwhile in, like reading a comic, and you kind of look at it and you're like, oh, meanwhile in, this is.
And they've done that in the movies. They did that in all the Star Wars movies, because you'll have something happening, but at the same time, you've got, I can't remember. I think the prequels is probably the best example of it, where it flashes between. I can't remember what it was. Anyway, you got literally things happening in real time at the same time, and it manages to show you this.
Yeah.
It's happening at the same time, and it's the stuff with Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Yeah, and Ahsoka as well.
And Ahsoka,
Like, Ahsoka missed Anakin by that much.
Yep. And we only know that after the fact. Long after the fact.
Yeah.
That's what makes the whole thing so much more heartbreaking. It's just
it is. Sad. It's just there were so many small little moments that Dave Filoni and John Favreau just put in that are sort of just like it. Well, it could have been. What could have been?
We missed
a turning point. Yeah. There's so many turning points for Anakin, like so early on.
Yeah.
And it was just by that much.
Yeah.
Like, Ahsoka being missed, Obi-Wan not being able to see him in the conference call just before it all happened, like. There's so many little things, man.
That's the lens I put on Boba Fett when I watch it. It's a part of the story, and when I read the books and when I watch an animated series, it's all part of the story. It's all part of the world. And the more of these things you know, the more you can put together, the more. And that's why I think you get attached to these characters, because you know what drives them now. Like with Boba Fett, if you imagine you only watch the first 3 movies, right? You'd think Boba Fett's this wanker of a bounty hunter that is useless.
Yeah. He just followed orders.
Yeah.
And good riddance. He died in a Sarlacc pit. Like, that's it.
Done. You know nothing more about him, and that's that. And what other IP in the world has got? Yeah, it was actually he was made to look like a dickhead in that movie.
He was.
He did. Now he's a badass motherfucker, and that's cool. That's why this series works, because you get to learn more of his backstory. You get to learn how he got out, what happened after that. You see his character develop. You see his character change. And then
I also like the fact that he's also trying to unify Tatooine.
It's
always run by the Hutts, and the Hutts are always there to just profit.
Uh-huh.
And that's so even through Clone Wars, they were always there just to profit. Like
That's
it was
all
never.
they do, yeah.
That's all they do. And he wanted to be like, no, I think we can build something better in this area we live in, even though it's a shithole.
Yeah, Tatooine can be better. That's the whole mantra of it, really.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to rule by fear, complete fear. He wants to provide them protection and help them prosper. And that's...
He knows...
Imagine coming from that from Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Boba Fett.
Wouldn't make any sense.
That's exactly.
Yeah. Wouldn't make sense.
And I mean, this sets up Tatooine for so much more in the future.
I think that contrast as well of Fennec just being like, can I kill him? I think that's perfect, that those two playing off each other like that. Because Fennec has always been, like, we've seen Fennec be good. Like, we have seen her, like, she's an assassin by trade, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she was meant to kill Ahsoka, but she ended up helping Ahsoka. Like, we've seen the small little things, as long as it was like a what's in it for me sort of scenario. And I like that she's already kind of kept that character to her, because it's not like she's ever been through that hardship. I mean, she was left dead by Mandalorian, but Mando showed her mercy. So there's these small little moments where she's kind of like, well, I kind of am in debt to you. She lives by the bounty hunter code, and you can tell. And then it's just like, I might just stick around. Like it's like she's living it like it's a game, which is really funny because it's a fictional character, but it feels that, right? She's sort of when that interaction when Boba and that perfect Boba finding her, bro, like. That's how they met. That's how it leads into Mandalorian 2. That's how they get to that point of the Empire, and they will start taking down the Empire together. And it would be bittersweet for Boba. It makes sense in his character now that he wants to get revenge of the Empire. He closed that book. Book of Boba Fett, guys. That's the...
It's literally in the fucking title.
Yeah.
The Book of. Yeah. No more, no less. Like, it's pretty self-explanatory. The fact that they brought Mando in, Grogu in, Luke Skywalker in, and all that meanwhile in... aspect of it is perfect, because you see how they tie together. You see the respect between Mando and Boba Fett. You see Mando's seeing that Boba Fett's no longer about that full-blown bounty hunter life. He's doing his thing.
Yep. In fact, they've all changed to that.
Yeah. Agreed.
Mando as well. I mean, he even said, "No, I'll do it for free. He's my friend." And
yeah.
But yeah.
You tell me what bounty hunter ever works for free in any of in any of the like stuff before that. So all three of the originals, all three of the prequels, and all the animated series in between, no bounty hunter ever works for free. There's always something in it for them. In this scenario, it's different.
They're all mates. They're all just there because they want to be there.
Yep.
And
it's loyalty. It is
still, I mean, it is loyalty, but it is also a fact that, they do feel like they owe them a debt, because obviously Mando and Boba helped Mando with the Empire scheme, with Moff and shit like that. So that sort of happened. And then that from there, I think that was loyalty. He stayed loyal. He didn't have to be there. He could have left. He could have killed me. Like, it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Mutual. But yeah, that transition, that first time you see Mandalorian, it's a very different Mando. In that, when he walks into that fucking place and he's like, "Well, I gotta," and you see him, he goes back to that ordinary. You thought it was an ordinary job. Oh man, he's just gone back to being a bounty hunter after Grogu. Like, he didn't learn anything, and then you realize why. He was collecting a bounty.
Yeah,
was to find the whereabouts of his clan, which is pretty insane to me. That because we always wondered, like, whatever happened to him. Like,
yeah.
Did they just disappear? My theory, I thought we were gonna see Sabine. It would have been pretty insane.
I'm not writing Sabine off in this series, but I think Sabine has a bigger part, maybe in
Ahsoka.
In Ahsoka, for sure. Yeah, like 100%. She needs to be in Ahsoka.
This is what I was gonna say. The thing that I think that a lot of people are bombing it in review wise is they have not watched animated series. Now, if you guys are listening to this and you're sort of like, oh yeah, like I've seen it, it's sick, it's really cool, and you haven't seen the animated series, Disney Plus, if you do have it, have done a really, really, really good thing.
Yep.
They have done a great thing. They have now broken down the most crucial episodes into a linear format that you can just watch back to back to back to back to back. Right? They've done it now. They can do it now with they've done it with the Clone Wars, which is by far one of the best. I would watch all of them anyway because even the filler is good.
Yeah.
And you miss out on a few small things you would sort of not pick up. They do jump between for sure. Like there are some episodes where people are alive and they're dead the next episode and they're alive again. It's a bit odd like that. But that was just how they aired. Like it wasn't anything to do with that's just how they aired.
Yeah.
And they also have an Ahsoka collection, and I believe there's now an Ezra one. So you can sort of see that we're leading into Ahsoka. Ahsoka. Yeah,
it's literally
Ahsoka's
handpicked episodes
Yeah.
of who Ahsoka is to give you a great idea of who Ahsoka is and why she's important to the series. I still
and
can't
why she's not a Jedi.
Yeah. Oh, upsetting. Sag. I don't understand. No, I don't understand. I still can't fathom in my head that people don't know who Ahsoka is. Like for me in the Star Wars universe, she is as big, right up there with Anakin, with Obi-Wan. In my opinion, she's that crucial
because she's the apprentice of Anakin Skywalker.
Correct. She's just
not a small deal.
Yeah, like, it's huge.
It's
the way
she's that should never have existed.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No shit.
Like that's crazy to me. She shouldn't have existed.
Yep.
Like,
and the timing of her coming on as Anakin's apprentice was meant to be Obi-Wan's apprentice. Came on as Anakin's. She was young for an apprentice. She was still a Padawan for a very long time and should have been for a very long time.
He was old for being an apprentice. He didn't understand how younglings
balance between all of that shit and all of the stuff that happens. Oh, and then Darth Vader happens, and you're like, wow, that shouldn't have happened five times over.
And then there are things you see between those interactions of when it is Vader and Ahsoka, and she never lost hope.
No,
that's like there are perfect things. Even if you just look up the fight sequences of Ahsoka and Vader, watch them because you can see that Ahsoka is just like, you are there, Master. You're still there, still in there. Even if you're just majority machine now, I know you're still in there. Like, it's just, that Rebel scene is by far one of the best choreographed fights, and it's an animated thing. It's like Maul and Ahsoka's fight as well.
Maul and Ahsoka's fight, that is like top 3.
Cinematically, just
top
unbelievable.
3 for me, man. Oh, so good.
And then the what Maul says is just.
He was fucking scared.
Then we talk about a fight between a Mandalorian and a Mandalorian, and I think the best thing they have ever done has actually shown someone be wounded by their own lightsaber.
Yes, finally.
And it makes sense because it's not like Mando is a fucking Jedi.
Nope.
He's wielding a sword.
Knows nothing about.
And knows nothing about.
Most of the time, Mando doesn't realize he's in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. Which is pretty good. I love how they're sort of going like, he's like, whatever, there's some Force shit. This guy can
lift something up. Fuck's a Jedi.
Yeah.
Lightsaber.
Yeah. He's learning more and more about it. Like, he's very connected to it for sure.
And he doesn't even know.
That whole sequence. Obviously now he doesn't have a plan because I was surprised that he was honest and actually did say that he took his helmet off.
Yeah.
I thought that was very intriguing.
I think that's cool because it sort of opens up potential for more Bo-Katan story. And
I agree. That's what was my setup was. I think because Bo, and it's interesting that the armorer said that Bo was basically a fanatic. Like
which is
it was interesting. It's like, well, hang on, you're both clan, aren't you? Like,
correct.
That's interesting to me. So who the hell is the armorer? If she knows Bo, So
I fucking hope we find out. That'd be so sick.
I really do hope we know who the armorer is. Yeah.
I hope it's not a next Jedi. I hope it's not Cal Kestis.
The only thing that I thought the armorer could be is
Oh, dude, what if the armorer? I mean, this is so unlikely.
Yeah,
and I actually don't think it's gonna. This is complete theory. What if the armorer is like somehow what's her name? Bad Batch.
Oh, no way. It's Omega.
Imagine if the armor is Omega.
No way. Nah. I thought it might be Sabine's mother.
Oh. Fuck.
Because Sabine thinks that she's dead, right? I think.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she does.
Yeah. So what if
Wait till Sabine comes back live action? I'm so keen to see who that body is.
Only theory I have for that, right? Yeah. I'm surprised I'm just trying to work out who would like be a good cast for her.
Not Natalie Portman.
No, Natalie, no. Yeah. But no, what would be fascinating to me is the only reason I think the armorer could be Sabine's mother is because Bo and Sabine's mother were inseparable. They were like in remember the end of
You think she might be
Clone
too old
Wars?
though?
Well, we don't know what the armorer we don't know how old the armorer is.
Yeah,
there's no reason for her. She could be old. Who knows?
Yeah.
No, she'd be the same age as Bo.
No, I can't remember now.
Yeah. No, she'd be the same age because they were friends. Yeah.
Leave in the comments who you guys think if you're still with us, who do you think is the armorer could be, or is the armorer just a new character? Because if the armorer is a new character, I'm fine with that as well. But it'd be super super dope if they like tied that into someone else. I'd be so stoked.
And then we transition into a Naboo starfighter.
The throwback when she said that, it was genuine.
And I love how he goes, I was like, that's a piece of junk. Like, it's the perfect line for it, man. It's just like, nah, no good. It's not a Razorback. It's like, he's so attached to his old ship that he's like, nah.
And it's funny because it's such an old ship.
The piece of junk line has been said like 3 times now. It's like the Millennium Falcon has been said like 3 times. And it's just like, now he said it's a piece of junk to a Naboo starfighter. And you're just like, dude, it's like, it's one of the fastest ships in the galaxy. This man has just said, nah, it's shit.
Nah, put it in the bin.
And I love I love what they've done with it. I love the concept of it. Like it's still Mando, but it's like still pretty. It was insane to see him in the cockpit of it and just flying around. And then the transition of the pod racing circuit.
Oh man,
that was just.
I couldn't believe they put that in there. I lost it. And like
same man.
Even the I saw a side by side of the pod racing. You know where I don't know who it is, but the guy goes up, lands, and comes down, and he smashes to a gate. Yeah. And the gate's still broken on the floor.
Gate's still broken. They never fixed it.
Just little shit. Yeah. As a fan, that's the stuff you're just like, yo,
Anakin did
that's
that.
thing.
Anakin hit
prick.
The gate.
Yeah.
Anakin hit the gate and went up in the air. And it's interesting as well that he also went up in the air at the same point. And then he came back down. Yeah. And it was just like...
In the same starfighter that Anakin flew and blew up the fucking Trade Federation ship. The parallels.
Yeah. It has to be Anakin's ship, right? It has to be.
Pretty cool if it was. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be because there was still
Where does it end up on Tatooine? Who else has one on Tatooine? Where did she get it from? Did Anakin keep the ship? It could have been
from anywhere. No, I don't think he did. I think it went back to Naboo because he landed it.
Yeah. I don't know. But that whole transition was awesome. And then we end up on...
What even planet is
Luke's...
it?
I can't remember. It is the same one in Rise of Last Jedi. It is the same planet. They have confirmed that.
It is. Just a bushy area.
Which is very different to what we saw because it's also surrounded by ocean.
Yeah.
But it must have been a different part of the temple because there is a forest that Rey does learn in Last Jedi. So it obviously is a big planet. He was just on the cliff side of it, I guess.
That part may have just been the closest connection to the Force.
Or he exiled himself to that part of the planet.
maybe it had the least connection to the Force.
Yeah, I don't know if we know that planet's name.
I don't know. We're gonna have to do some searching on that because I can't remember. I'm too excited to see lightsabers.
We have seen
Luke Skywalker
the start of Luke Skywalker's Jedi Temple.
Yes, the beginnings of it. And Grogu's ultimatum in said temple is just... I couldn't believe he pulls out Master Yoda's lightsaber.
Yeah.
Bro, what the actual fuck? Where the fuck was that? Who had that? That was on Coruscant. Yoda never picked it up. I'm 99% sure Yoda didn't have that on Dagobah. Because when he left and jumped in Bail Organa's fucking speeder, he didn't have his lightsaber with him. I've watched those clips so many times.
Yeah, but there is a transition anyway because in Return of the Jedi, still there, he would still have a lightsaber. He would have got another one for sure.
Do you reckon? After he exiled himself?
Between 3 and 4, 100%. Surely he would have gone to Ilum because Ilum would have still been alive.
Just, yeah.
Just, yeah.
That's when isn't that part of Fallen Order?
We don't know if, this is a thing that like this this is the transition. This could be answered in Kenobi. This could be Untitled Kenobi because
Kenobi.
Yoda would still. Because I remember the last conversation that Yoda had with Kenobi was we.
Imagine if. Oh shit! Yeah.
We can't talk.
No.
We can't talk.
We're in exile.
We were in exile. Yeah.
We have self-exiled.
Yeah. That's the only way we're gonna live.
Yeah, and also in the comments, if you know if Yoda had his lightsaber in episode 4, 5, and 6, let us know because I don't think he did, but he may have.
You ever see his lightsaber? You don't see his lightsaber.
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
But I don't think there's any reason why he couldn't have one.
Yeah, that's true.
And then to remember his master, that's why Luke took it. Now, the other thing that's really interesting as well is a theory going around that, and we won't spend too much of the time, more longer on it, but not the lightsaber. There's a rumor going around, or a theory, that Ahsoka, the reason Ahsoka was on that planet, in the Jedi temple of it being made and stuff like that, was not only just as a guardian to Luke whilst it was all happening, because Luke was training Grogu, but Ahsoka was actually completing Luke's training.
Oh, you reckon? Oh, the theory going. Yeah.
This theory,
shit.
Yeah. So,
well, the fact they said goodbye to each other pretty formally.
Yeah. Yoda does say, like, obviously when he's dying, he does say to Luke, like, "Oh, your training is complete. There is nothing more that I can teach you." Right? But a Jedi's always learning, right? So, and what's not to say? Now, this is the other thing that I'm interested in. This is the theory.
Yeah, I think I know where you're going.
This is the theory of me thinking that Luke may be grey.
Yes.
We've always had an idea that Luke Skywalker is actually a grey Jedi. Now, if you guys don't know what a grey Jedi is, then obviously that means that they are neither believing in the light side or believing in the dark side. They believe what is. They are just. Like, it is.
The Force is.
Force is.
Yeah.
Is. Yeah. There's no in between. So they will do what they believe to be right.
Yep.
And now I believe that to be why the ultimatum happened with Grogu. Because he gave him a choice. Now, Jedis don't get choices. They just are. They are, and Sith are absolute. There is no, like, and that was it, wasn't it? That was essentially the parallel. It was like a triangle. You had the grey, one side was light, and one side was Sith. And he gave him that choice.
Yeah. I think it's weird that he's given him a choice. Luke, like, talking about symbolism in Star Wars, right? Luke's in the last episode 6 and onwards, since we've seen him, he's always worn black.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, if you're wearing black, it's a representation of the dark side. Now, we know pretty well that Luke has somewhat come to grips with the dark and the light, and arguably reconciled between the both of them, which is where he
100%.
sits, and which is why we think grey, which would make sense. Now, if he is grey,
based on what we know now in the what are they called? 7, 8, and 9, based on what his character is, it would tie in better. But
yes, agreed. I don't really know why. I mean, aside from the fact that he wanted to build a temple, to teach new generation of Jedi, which makes sense. I'm curious to see how he would have been training the Jedi, which I'm hoping we do get some more insight to later. But then, why did he fear the dark side so much? And maybe that, to your point, maybe that's why Ahsoka was there, to help him sort of balance out that.
Yeah, I wonder if
that
Ahsoka,
dark
because
and light.
she would have, like, Ahsoka is such a complicated character now, and she would have had this feeling.
She's been through this battle. Yeah,
she's been through everything. And I wonder now if that was just like it was like a console to Luke. It was basically like, look, I don't know what to believe in. I've seen my dad be able to come back from the dark. I've been able to see the Sith at its highest. Like, there is so much to it.
For him
and
to
then
comprehend
I think Ahsoka
all that,
was just how do you comprehend that? And then Ahsoka's like pretty much the only character that can basically can kind of be like,
she's the only person that knows.
I understand you. Yeah.
Knows his dad. Dad.
Yeah.
That fucking.
Oh, bro, that line.
Yeah. I don't know what it was exactly, but yeah, that.
No, it's like, I'm an old family friend.
Yeah.
I'm a friend of the family.
Yep.
Fuck.
And that's why she's such a good character, because she is a constant between all things Star Wars.
Unless
Maybe
we're
the whole
thinking
series is
about
about
the
her.
timeline wrong as well. This is obviously theory crafting, but unless we got the timeline wrong, and the reason Ahsoka's there is because Luke can find Ezra.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. because
Dial-up sounds.
you know what I mean? Maybe Ahsoka went to that planet. We don't know the conversation that was said. We just know the Mando landed. And Ahsoka was like, what are you doing here? That could have been, there could have been a conversation before he landed. And that conversation could have been like, Thrawn's back. Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, can you imagine if
like
Luke's probably going to be in Ahsoka then? Would you? Oh, no. Maybe she just leave him to focus on his thing.
No, I 100% think that. I think that Luke moving forward is now this is filling out his story, man.
Yeah, I know.
to what we see him, old man Luke, you know, his downfall essentially. So we're seeing him now at this peak moment. I mean, Jedi Academy. I don't know if you ever played that game, but that was Luke's Jedi Temple. You actually play as a Jedi training as a temple. Yeah, and like that whole train, like you're now seeing that point, and you're going to see like more Jedi. And what it's not to say that. This is nuts to me. This is where I think video games are tying into movies cinematic-wise is so cool. Like Grogu, I believe why would Grogu be sent back to Tatooine with R2?
Because he made his choice.
But why R2? Why wouldn't Luke just send him back?
I think that's just because he's a child and doesn't know how to fly a ship. R2 does.
So I actually think that Grogu hasn't Grogu.
Why wouldn't you just put him on a transport? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And Luke's X-Wing? It's a bit weird.
Yeah. I'm hoping there's something more to that. That would be cool.
I think there is, man. I think Grogu, even though he's War of the West and he wants to go for Mandalorian,
it's
obviously
weird that
at face value it makes sense because we've never seen Grogu anything else. We've never seen him he should exist in
he was there in Order 66. He should exist unless he doesn't exist because he's
that was amazing too.
We didn't need to see Order 66 again.
No, but that was amazing.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
Really cool.
Yeah,
and he got away.
The theory on that one as well is like they believe that it was a librarian. You know when
got him out.
Huh? Yeah,
got him out.
Yeah.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, because she in lore she hid. She was hiding.
Yeah, true.
So she would have been one of the only ones that known about Grogu and hid him. And then to get him out, she sacrificed herself. Yeah, true. That's the theory. I was like, dude, that actually that would fit. Because she was in the temple. She's one of the only ones left in the temple. So yeah, I hope there's more expansion on that. But oh man. But yeah, Kenobi. There's a lot being released, and we'll probably put this into 5 minutes because I think we should wrap it up. Maybe actually, I was thinking, what if we had that first podcast, right?
Yeah.
This one is just a Star Wars special.
I think we'll just cut it for that. Yeah.
So we'll have like a just let you know.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Good. I got you.
So there are a few things on Twitter that have been announced. Kenobi and Vader are going to fight at least 2 times.
And I am here for it. Hayden Christensen is back as Vader. Not that that really matters because you're probably not going to see his face, although you probably will see his face because they're going to have to chop his mask a little bit just so he's got to have some face time.
And he's going to have his head off, like his face. He's going to have the makeup on.
Be manky as fuck.
Yeah, and they might do flashbacks to when they were...
There's going to be so many flashbacks. There's going to be so many flashbacks of like things we've never seen before between Obi-Wan and Anakin talking, and you just be like, I'm rather emotionally attached to the whole Kenobi situation, so I think it's going to be a fucking it's going to be a box. It's going to be a box of Kleenex for that one.
It's going to be insane.
Yeah.
It's now John Williams has done the opening theme to Kenobi,
which
it is Kenobi,
rightfully
which is just perfect.
Yeah.
When's it releasing? May 25th.
I'm going to have a 2-week-old child.
May 25th is
at that point.
Same date that A New Hope came out.
Yeah.
First time we saw Kenobi on Tatooine. I'm going to see him.
Woo. It's the first time we see him post Order 66, and I am so excited, man.
It's going to be
That's not the first time. I lie because he was in Rebels, but yeah.
No, it's going to be insane to see that. Yeah, the two things. I mean, we had this conversation. I don't particularly want to see more. I don't want to really get into that, but I don't want to see more in it. If I do, it would not make sense unless Maul is showing him searching still.
Yeah.
Or at the end of it, it's just like, I know that feeling, and then it leads into the Rebel.
His appearances in the Rebel. Yeah, and that's why he decides to go after Ezra and the holocrons and all that.
I haven't told you this one yet.
I'm here for it.
Mark Hamill is reprising the role of Luke Skywalker in Kenobi. So they will be using his voice as Luke Skywalker. Luke is in Kenobi.
How?
They made Luke look good.
How?
They made Luke look good.
Who's the new actor for Luke? Because they've got an actor and they've just like mangled his face.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
it's a deep fake. It's a deep fake.
You know they really do. Yeah, it's a beautiful deep fake now. It was not that great in Mando, but God, it's good now.
They've done well, yeah.
Super well. But I don't know if you've seen as well. Everyone is wanting Sebastian Stan to be Luke Skywalker moving forward.
Oh, it made so much sense.
They look so alike. You put a representation back next to neck. The only one that's different is like little
Goto. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's it, man.
He's gonna have a beard.
It's unbelievable. And Sebastian Stan is down for it.
Yeah, he would be.
Yeah, and you know how easy it would be for them to put him in? Because he's already signed to Disney. He's fucking Winter Soldier. It'd be so easy.
I know. You imagine that. You could have double Sebastian Stan merch. Really build a name for himself as like the Winter Soldier with a sick arm. And
you can have a sick arm and then just one hand.
They don't even have to change the arm. He can just keep it and just put a glove on it.
Exactly. Put a glove on it. Yeah.
So obviously he's an amputee from the shoulder down, and that's why he's got the steel arm. So it makes sense in Star Wars,
It's just down the hand, bro.
Yeah, but you don't have to see that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's enough of two old blokes rambling about Star Wars because we love it so much. This will end our Star Wars portion of it. This will be split from the rest of the podcast. Obviously, Thanks for listening to this special Star Wars edition of the podcast. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Bye.